Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. We are the premier business radio program around. I'm host Mike King. I appreciate you being here with me. So On the Mic with Mike, we highlight partnerships, people, social enterprise. We also talk to the game changers who are out there. You can follow me on social platforms, which is On the Mic with Mike RVA, as well as Mike King Biz. We're coming to you today from Bryant and Straton. This is part of the Mike King Biz Radio Network, which is ESPN Richmond 106.1 every day from 5 to 7. The Choice 105.3 every day from 2 to 3, as well as International Business Book Radio. Like I tell people, we like LeBron, we take our talents on the road and we showcase RV in a different way on a global scale. So as I said, we're coming to you. We kick it off. We do kickoff Fridays right here. We are at Bryant and Straton every day. You know what? Every time I come here, they bring out the young Thundercats this time. But a lot of times they're bringing out different people talking about all the great things happening here at Bryant and Straton. I say that this is Chesterfield's College right here. They're doing some amazing things. I feel smarter just walking in the door. But now I always start off and say, all right, this is a business show. Tell us who you are and what you do.
All right. My name is Jameson Deloach. I'm a senior financial aid advisor here at Bryant and Straton.
So you are the person when people get in there, they're like, okay, I'm getting into college, I got accepted. And all of a sudden, all the thinking started. All of them. How am I going to do this thing? Yep. So you're the guy who puts us at ease to say, okay, how are we going to put this thing together and make it work?
Yeah, we always say admissions has the fun part because they're like,
I got it.
It's time to do this.
I got that thick envelope.
Yeah.
I got the thin envelope. Now all of a sudden the questions marks.
They come into our office and
they got that look.
Listen, I got this going on in life. I got this going on. I was like, how are we going to pay for school? How is this going to happen? And a lot of times they just have no idea. They have all of these misconceived notions that they have from family members and other people in their communities, telling them like, you're not going to be able to get this. They're not going to help you do this. There's no grants. They only have this funding for a specific type of people. So our job is to take the students and help usher them through the process so that school can become a reality financially.
Because across the board, you guys have students of all ages.
Yes.
So it's not like some colleges, a person graduates high school, 18 years. I mean, a lot of times, most of the time, a lot of bad stuff, we haven't taken on a lot at 18.
Exactly.
But now I'm rolling in here, I'm 32 years old, I got multiple kids, I got this and that. I'm living life and it's a whole bunch of this, and now I got to decide to go to school. I got to come to you and say, all right, how are we gonna work this thing out?
And we figure it out. Our job is to, like I said, to help every student, because like you said, all students have different situations going on. We have students that are older, we have students that are younger. Some students just kind of want to hop into that trade. Traditional 4 years colleges are not, I went to a 4-year school and I didn't understand financial aid while I was there.
Nobody does. Okay, nobody does. The only thing you're worried about is did it work for Clarence K?
I got through and I had no idea how much money I owed. I had no idea what I got. All I know is that my mom signed something. I think I signed something and I was able to go to school.
I've been on both ends of that mom side. Hey, you got to do this FAFSA thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, all of a sudden, the question mark is, and I've had it with my sons, well, so-and-so got a lot of money back and they was balling for however long.
Yes.
They didn't realize that whether Sally Mae or the financial aid people coming back, hey, remember us, these student loan people.
Yes.
They come back to you because you didn't manage it the right way when you're 18 or 19 or 20. You're there to help people say, okay, whatever you are, whatever your situation is in life, Bryant and Straton got a way to make it work.
That part as well. But also I think what I believe is the true magic of working here and working in this type of education is we usher the students through the process and the parents through the process. So you get that education financially before you even get to class.
Because we've talked to a number of people here, and that's what the theme is. We walk you through
You're not alone.
The process. Yeah. And a lot of times we don't know, so we're worried about how I'm going to get this. You're going from office to office, kind of wondering how I'm going to do this. But this is cozy enough in here. It's small enough to manage. And you are helping me when I show up at the door. I'm kind of nervous.
Very much nervous. Yeah. And a lot of times I try to use my personality because I speak to my students as if we are friends. Sometimes I have to have different versions of conversations with different people because I want you to understand it so that you'll be able to take it with you. Financial aid, people think that's all free grant money. No, financial aid is going to be consistent of federal Pell Grant and federal direct loans. There's an amount of loans that the federal government will allow you to take, and depending upon your financial aid, which is based upon your financial aid application, that might qualify you for some grants. Everyone is not necessarily eligible for grants. Some students have different situations. Everybody's financial aid situation is different based upon, their financial situation.
When you go through that process, how long is it before, when you fill out the paperwork, how long does it usually take before I know whether it worked or not?
So when you initially sit down to have a financial aid application, or when you have an appointment, we go through your financial aid application first. We submit that. That's going to be consistent of your living status, how many dependents you might have, whether you're an independent student, or if you're a dependent student.
So an independent student is, I'm out there working on my own.
No, then that's a misconception.
Okay.
An independent student is a student that is over the age of 24, married, or have children. So you could be taking care of yourself, because a lot of people start taking care of themselves at 18 and they expect to be independent. No, the federal government is going to consider you to be a dependent student. So we need your parental information to determine what you're eligible for.
Thank you very much, because I remember going through that and hearing that and thought, because you're like, why does my parent have to sign the FAFSA?
Because you're supporting
I'm already
yourself.
taking care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the case.
That's not how the federal government looks at it. You're going to be independent once you are either married, have a child that you financially support, not have a child that is being supported by your parents, or if you have a child, you have to be able to provide financial documentation to show that you're able to financially support your child in order for that to still be considered a.
See, man, that's why I come with Bryant and Straton right there, because I'm old and I'm not, I'm 62, so I'm just gonna get that out of it. I thought forever and wondered why that was the case.
Yeah, and I think it's because that's just the parameters of what the federal government has set in order to be able to hold parents at some point, to be able to assist the parents and help, for parents to be able to take the responsibility of helping their children in part.
So I guess that's not the fun part when you.
It's not the fun
part. No, that's definitely not the fun
no,
part.
That's
person's gonna be like, so now I gotta go to my parents again.
Yeah.
After I'm doing all these things to be independent.
We get met with sometimes we get met with
I should look here, there may be the case with that.
It definitely happens.
But there's a workaround, there's a fix to it.
There are always workarounds, there are always fixes. We have students who, unfortunately may need professional judgments or may need things that happen. There are always ways. And that's the thing about working in financial aid. I always say it's you consistently learning every single day. I have colleagues that I have to call and say, hey, this is something new. I haven't had that, and I've never, encountered this type of situation, because we all have situations. Some people don't have contact with their parents. Some people have risk of being homeless or having things. Those are those questions that then might put a different situation, because there are places and opportunities for you to be independent. We just have to kind of flesh through and have that conversation to kind of see what it is that we can do.
At what part of the process do we get to financial aid?
That is financial aid. So after that financial aid application is done, that's going to give us what is considered an expected family contribution. And that'll tell us if you're eligible for any Pell Grants. And in order for you to qualify for any loans, that application has to be submitted.
In the process, I walk in the door, I need to get accepted first. Is that the way it works? And then the next step is financial aid?
Typically, you speak with an admissions advisor first. Okay. They will go over the cost of the program, what the program consists of, speaking with you on what your goals are, things of that sort. But typically, right after that, we try to have an initial conversation with financial aid, because we understand that financial is going to be.
That could determine whether I'm here or not. The money part.
Yes. But we feel confident in the fact that we can help make it
happen.
a reality for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on the mic and mic here at Bryant and Straton. So once again, how can people find you out there?
You guys can Bryant and Straton EDU. We're out on Hull Street. Feel free to stop by. If you have any questions, please reach out to our admissions department or our financial aid department. We're always here to answer questions and speak with students about anything they need.
One of the things, so when I come here, I run it. You guys got some characters here. And so it's not the typical place. So I'm here last week and I'm talking to the lady who runs the nursing department. I asked her, how'd you get here? Well, I went to Food Line.
Yeah, she's great.
Okay. All righty. So now I'm talking to you. You didn't take the direct route to, hey, I want to be working in financial aid.
No.
You got a story. You got some history.
Well, yes.
You touched on some places, which really makes it easy for you when you're talking to people. So you can talk to the younger folks. Like you said, there are times I got to talk to them like this.
Yeah.
And then there's other times I got to talk to people that, hey, I'm not as young as I look, and I've been doing some things.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, so you went to VCU.
I went to VCU. I majored in public relations.
Okay, why public relations? What did you want to do when you thought about it?
I never knew what I was that I wanted to do. I had done so many. I had been in. My parents sent me to camps every year because I grew up in a small country town, so they wanted me to have things to do.
I mean, you just can't say that small. What town? You gotta give a shout out to your town.
Oh well, I'm from Emporia, Virginia. A very small town. Yeah, shout out to Emporia. But I grew up from there, so a lot of times in the summer, my mom and them, they said I wasn't really a sports guy, so they sent me out to a lot of the camps. I went to 4-H camp, I went to BioQuest, I went to biology camps, I went to Bible camps, I went all around. So when it got time to
make you well-rounded.
Exactly, which I really appreciate them doing that. But when it got time to go to school, I was looking at the list and I just couldn't figure. I was like, do you want to be a fireman? Do you want to be a doctor? Do you want to be a nurse? Like, what is it that you want to do? And none of those things kind of stuck out to me. I just really was passionate about events and passionate about entertainment and industry type things. So me also being from a small town, I wasn't privy to what that looks like. So the closest thing that I thought was public relations. So that was the closest thing that kind of matched to what it was that I wanted to do.
So you roll into, what was the initial impression when you came to Richmond and VCU?
Oh, I was ecstatic. My sister-in-law had went to VCU, so she would bring us, me and my friend, up during our junior and senior.
Okay, so you got a taste of it.
I got a taste of it. Yeah.
And you drank the Kool-Aid.
Oh, and I was sipping. I was addicted.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you're doing all kinds of things there.
Yeah.
You're still the events guy. You're still a man about.
Yes, I pledged Alpha Phi Alpha while I was there.
Shout out to my man Bo Jackson. So Bo is an alpha, and a number of dudes I run with are alphas. Yeah. And Bo Jackson is the guy who taught me this business. So I got a place for the alphas. Yeah. So you guys are always joke. You guys are the business.
Yeah, we're the money makers out here.
Congratulations. So you're moving and shaking at VCU. What are the things that stood out that you learned and that you liked about?
The things that I learned at VCU were more so lifestyle things, like kind of how to manage my money, how to be active, how to have a good time, but also be serious at the times that I needed to. Being as though VCU was so spread out, we didn't have like where everybody kind of came on a campus and was locked in.
Right.
So, like we had small gatherings where we had to be locked in, but you could easily sway off to the wrong sides because you take two streets over and you're no longer on what is considered the campus.
You're in Richmond.
Yeah, so
2 blocks away.
So I had to grow up. I had to become an adult. So those were the things that VCU, I believe, I learned the most.
So you did some time in the banking world.
Yes.
What was the positive and the thing you didn't like about the banking?
In the banking industry, I would say probably the negative thing I didn't like is they made you stand up as a teller. So that was probably the work all day. And
that's just wrong.
It was wrong. And it was very much like 30 minutes, you take your lunch, you got to get back because people need you there.
For a creative guy.
Yeah,
that's rough.
It was rough. It was rough. It was a little rough, but I also enjoyed the numbers part. I enjoyed at the end of the day, tallying my till coming out correct. I enjoyed the processes of going into this account, moving this from here. I enjoyed that part.
That part.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I'm a task person. I like completing tasks.
Oh, you want to do to write down a list and
I'm not that dude. I'm not that dude, but I do enjoy.
They write and they cross off.
I'm envious of those people because they seem like they have such a. I'm the type of person where I might have 4 or 5 stickies, and I'm throwing my sticky away. But my task.
So really, you're still a dude with the list, but it's just on a sticky, but you're getting rid of it.
I might have lost the sticky, I might have found it, but I got done. Or I remembered it.
You got that. So the first time that you're introduced to financial aid.
Yes.
What was the first thought?
I started at Stratford University, a culinary school they built out in Short Pump. So I applied for it as a student accounts officer. That's my show. I got trained in it. So it's kind of student accounts as well as financial aid. And I did that for a couple of years when they first opened that school.
What do you like about financial aid?
I just enjoyed because I enjoyed speaking to people. I enjoyed having the conversations and the dynamics between people. And I was learning, like I said, I was learning new things every single day. And I was just kind of, I guess, as a young professional, I was developing a confidence professionally that I kind of felt like what I was doing mattered. It was a subject matter that I was early in, just kind of, I felt new, but people don't know it. So if you know 2 things about financial aid, you know 2 more than the average person.
Like me, I did not know the part about being independent student.
Exactly.
Because when you get a little older and the parent, you're coming to them saying, I need to fill this form out. Now some parents have started looking like, why I need to fill it out?
Why do I need to fill it out?
Why I need to fill it out? You know it's gonna be on you. But you just answer.
I hear that all the time. And and I kind of start after 10 years in the industry, you just kind of start being able to know where some people are going to go. Basically,
you know where they're coming.
I know where they're going.
So maybe you cut them off.
If I do, I'm like, hey,
I know where you're going.
At this point, you're not agreeing to anything. This is the part that you have to do in order for your student or your child to be eligible. And most parents do want their child to be eligible. They just may or may not, and sometimes they don't know what that looks like. So just being able to usher that to the parent at that point, I've been able to have conversations with parents and they say, okay, you know what, when you put it that way, when you have it to a point where I can understand it, it's not like, how do I pay it back? What does that look like? I had a complete different thought process on what that was going to look like helping my child go to school. I thought I was going to be paying $30,000 for my student to go to school, for my child to go to school. No, I just need to take out this small loan. I don't have a problem supporting my child in that way to help them get to what they need to do.
See, ladies and gentlemen, that's why we come to Bryant. Because that is, I don't care a whole bunch of households.
Yeah.
When that question comes in,
the
next question is going to be, well, this is going to be, you're going to college, it's going to be on you, but it's not, you're saying that you're not independent.
Yeah. Oh, and I've had dependent students, I've had parents that call and they're like, hey, and I'm like, she's good. She stopped in and checked on me. Students, they come in the office. Sometimes they just need to take a break. I'm like, hey, sit down. Here's a Snickers.
So that's your office.
Yeah.
But what'd you say? Your mother's a guidance counselor?
Yeah, my mom's a guidance counselor.
That's the office.
Well, yeah.
So you become that office.
Well, that part as well. Yeah, I grew up. I caught the bus at a young age at the high school. My mom and my parents both worked there. So I went to school with them in the morning. I caught the bus on the corner. So I've been around that all of my life.
So now you're that safe office. You're that place where people can understand that thing.
I just always say, my family always says, my brother's an athletic director, my dad's an athletic director, my mom's a guidance counselor. I'm in the education field as well. I just didn't teach. I did it the financial way.
Kudos to your family.
Yeah.
That is the way it's done. All right, so we're wrapping up some time, but I got to get on some things with you.
Okay.
So we were just talking about you took a trip, and I said back in my day, I'm the old man on the get off my lawn, kid.
Yeah.
We took exotic trips. I'm from Philly. We may have gone to Miami. But you're with a group of people who think a little bit bigger than that. Where have you gone recently?
So, well, just about a couple of weeks ago, I took a trip with about 22 of my friends. Well, actually, it's about 10 of my core friends for a 40th birthday party to Mykonos, Greece. And I met 10 additional people who I now talk to every day.
So when you look at that and you talk to people, so a lot of times you're interacting with young people.
Yes.
And you talk about picking your crew.
Yep.
and you're saying like-minded people
Mhm.
who look at, let's go to Greece, let's do
Mhm.
international travel because we'll meet people here and there
Mhm.
who can make our world better. Really quickly, why is that important?
It's important to me. I literally posted something on my story the other day that talked about how people get to an age and say, oh, I don't have enough friends. I don't need to make any other friends. I feel like that is the most weird thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm always open to meet new people and try to develop new relationships. I don't care how old I am. That is what puts you in a place where you can be able to see the world. If you if you put yourself in a box, how are you supposed to grow? How are you supposed to see things? If I had not met that group of friends, I would not have been able to travel to all of the places that I've gone because they're travelers. Some of my friends are not travelers, and that is okay.
But now you said, now you kind of have the responsibility to open the door.
Open the door
for
and allow
them
yourself
see
to
the
be able
value
to.
in that.
Mhm.
There's something about the culture and that, like to helping the next person. You weren't closing the door behind us. Say I went to Greece.
Well, now I'm trying to figure out how to get my other friends who don't travel to
to
Greece.
see that.
And now I see, oh, this is something that we can do. This is something that can be done. We just need to put a plan together, do some research, start making some deposits, and then this time next year,
the day comes, we're going to the airport.
Yep.
Where it didn't seem possible. All right, really quickly, let's talk about the culture here at Bryant and Straton. So now that's sort of a culture with you and your crew to be able to go. What makes the culture here so special? When we've heard from different people around town,
Mhm.
which says the passing rate 100%.
Mhm.
You guys were nursing. You guys really, and we talked to the students, and the students say they get us ready.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the winning culture here on campus.
It makes for, I'll tell you what it does make for. It makes for me to be confident in, because a lot of times with the financial part, people want to know what am I getting for what I'm paying. So I get asked a lot of questions about, am I going to get a job? Am I going to do this? And one thing that I feel confident in, I know that I'm not lying when I say we care. When I say that we care, I know that I'm not doing a sell. I know that I'm saying, hey, you can look at the numbers. Our students are successful. When students come in, I see them at graduation. That's why I enjoy going to graduation, because I saw you when you came in the door.
And what was the look when, and I asked them, what was the look when they came in the door?
Well, it's excited, but also it's like, I've cried. I've cried with students, and just, and people just walk across the stage and just literally run up to you. I only helped you with your finances,
because
and
you
just to have that
played
moment.
a big part in that.
Yeah.
So you saw when they come in the door, and then you see them around campus, and you started to see them. They started to get a little bit of. You start seeing the real them of who they are outside of here.
Exactly.
And then also you see they got the swag on because they got it.
Yep. I love coming into this area, which is our student lounge.
And see, there's nobody here today, but when we're in here, sometimes the students are running like, I'm like, no, you got to talk to us.
But a lot of times they are in here, I'm in here warming up food or buying some out of the snack machine, and they're in here in groups studying. They're like, they're studying, they're calling out, they're taking that little break, and they're nibbling on food, but they're also having flashcards. And those are the things that I enjoy. And they're making jokes, and I laugh, and they're like, oh gosh, he's a worker. I'm like, no, we're set out. I enjoy seeing that. That makes me, it gives me makes me feel like I'm on the right path professionally and doing something I enjoy.
You are doing so.
Thank
and
you.
It's been a pleasure. On the mic with Mike, let people know once again your name, how people can find Bryant and Straton out there.
All right, my name is Jameson Deloach. I'm a senior financial aid advisor here at Bryant and Straton. You can visit our website, www.bryantandstratton.edu. Please feel free to reach out with any questions that you may have regarding financial aid or admissions process.
One of the things, I got to give a shout out to your parents, man. Mom and Dad, you did good. You did good. So really appreciate you coming up on the mic to Mike. We are the best business radio program around. Why? Because we talk to the best guests like the young man right here. So we talk to the game changers out there, how business can help society be better. Like I said, you can find me on all the social platforms. Hashtag on the mic to Mike RVA. Hashtag Mike King Biz. And we like to thank our sponsors as well. Like I always say, the microphone ain't free. Plus my grandkids need stuff. So one of the things they do need stuff, because I just paid $160 for some Jordans. I was shaking in the store, but my grandson had to look. I broke down. I never spent $150 on his dad's sneakers. Yeah. I just want to be clear on that. But as a grandparent, the hours are better, responsibilities are better. but sometimes, you might take a L on that
Yeah,
one.
well,
And it was a win, but at that moment, I was like,
he'll be the one that takes care of you when you go.
I hope so. I hope so. On the mic, we'll talk to you soon.